And we're live. Maybe. I don't know. We're trying to see if the internet is good enough for live here. We're Keith Stelter coming to you from the Roseland Oil and Gas Show. Tallybook Troubleshooting brought to you by Arc Energy. We process your energy. I am trying to do a live broadcast here from the Roseland Oil and Gas Show, Horseshow Arena in Midland, Texas. And I've been uploading a little bit of content all day long, trying to hype up the show and allow people access, for those who couldn't make it down, to check out a little bit of what they're missing down here. And we're going to start off the live stream. If it's working, maybe someone out there is actually watching. Oh, Robert Mueller. Yay. Perfect. Can you hear me? Is it echoey? You're good. Well, look at that. This guy, man, Robert Mueller, number one guy out there. Go check him out. Ali, thank you very much, sir. It is great to hear from you. I got the two first guests on this live stream are just going to blow you away. I'm going to try multiple camera angles taught to me by David Gibson. Let's see if this can kind of work. And, oh, wow, we got the crowd chiming in too. Yes. Future guests coming up, Scott Emerson. Thank you very much, sir. Without any further ado, we are going to bring in the one, the
Janie Nelson and
Stacey Jones.
Well, I thought you were going to do a bigger, bolder, shout out, Stacey.
We're trying to turn our phones off.
Oh, well, no. The great thing about live is anything can happen. You can take a call from a customer or what. Say hello out there. Introduce yourselves for anybody who doesn't know you. Go for it, Janie.
Hi, I'm Janie Nelson. This is one of my partners, Stacey Jones. We have the oilfield calendar, and also we are privateers on the executive board of privateers.
Fiberglass is a consulting group that helps out smaller independents with disruptive technology, get their name out there and bring them more business.
And they get us
Well,
as their spokesperson.
We're the bonus.
You
Yes.
definitely are a huge bonus. To say
I don't know how to say that.
Now, let's see.
if I can go back here. My first question is, so you guys have been to the PBIOS. That's a massive show.
Stacey is one of the.
And I am very thankful to Stacey, who made me a part of it. It was the first time I ever got asked to broadcast from the show. What are your thoughts on what you see so far here? I know this is a smaller show. Be kind, what do you see? What's good and what's bad?
Loaded question. That is.
We just walked in the door first.
Yes, and
Hi,
first
Chris.
impressions.
We're going to know a lot of people that are walking by. So we have friends here. That's awesome, right?
Well, then that's
lots
a
of
good
friends
sign,
there.
right?
Yeah.
That people should come down to the Roseland show. They can at least see you two. You guys have become the biggest attraction of the show, I think. At this point.
We will be signing autographs from 3 to 3:05 p.m. today.
And then happy hour from 4 to 6.
I have to go. We have another event we have to go to. But
Are you
do
guys
too.
going to that event tonight?
yes.
Where the secret special invite only event.
Yeah.
Perfect. You can hit me up and I might imply where it is if I think you're cool. And that's
The
way
cool
it kinda
factor.
works.
The cool factor. You have to have the cool factor.
Yes.
Definite cool factor. Ladies, what are your thoughts on, after we've seen such low dollar oil for a while, now we're over $100 oil. What thoughts on the supply chain issues? What do you see is the future of the Permian going forward? With that in mind, high level 30,000 foot.
I would like to see oil in the 80 plus
85 to
89
90.
yeah range.
100 makes
I think
people
we could
crazy.
be healthy there. Supply chain obviously is screaming right now, not great, and it's putting everybody in a bind. And people can't drill, people can't complete, can't put on POP because of the lack of service people, the lack of employees, the lack of everything right now in our world. So we're having to modify and change and morph into this new situation. But I really think our perfect price range is 80 to 90. I think we can all make money there. Service companies can raise their prices, oil companies can handle it, and we all survive. We have to be able to raise prices to to attract and retain labor. So
Do you think it's as busy as it was the last time oil went over $100?
No.
Why do you, why do you think that is?
2014, no. 2014, especially in the Permian Basin, was a zoo.
yeah.
This isn't even close to the activity level from that year.
But what's lacking? What's lacking is employees.
Yeah.
What's lacking is service companies. Service companies cannot or they're unable to optimally perform without the employees, without the
Without
supply
equipment,
chain.
without all the stuff. Trucks.
Yeah.
None of our clients can get trucks.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, and it's
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah, and the idea that they are actually manufacturing trucks and going to put them on the lot and sell them, and you have to wait on your chip is just totally unrealistic. It doesn't work. The chips, motor everything in a vehicle, and I don't see how that's going to happen. And I feel sorry for the car dealers, but that affects everything from the service company to the oil company, because they can't function without vehicles either.
And
As goes oil, goes the whole United States. And even though the price of oil seems high, it's high for a myriad of reasons, and we just can't function. And these low prices for service companies, which we had to do, and the lack of employees. I think you're going to see a lot of acquisitions in service companies for a myriad of reasons, but the number one reason,
consolidation of employees.
exactly.
Great point on the consolidations. Now, there's been talk, I think, what was it, Richard Spears said at the operator forum, there's been a little lack of investment or lack of the access to money from banks for the service companies. We're seeing the acquisitions in the operator side because they're getting access to that money. When do you think that access to money for the service companies is going to come around, and how do you think that'll fix the employee issue?
Even touch the employee
No.
issue.
Too many people have left for good this time.
Yeah, and I think the money's still available to employees through Texas workforce, and different things are stopping employees from coming back to the service industry.
As a guy who tries to help out people on LinkedIn find jobs, one thing that's kind of come up to me a few times is there's still lots of people looking for jobs. Are people being, I guess, I don't want to say discriminated against, but maybe counted off the pile too soon because they've been employed during the whole COVID and downturns? Do you think HR is taking maybe too harsh a look on those big, unemployed gaps for some people?
I don't think they're looking at unemployed gaps. I think they totally understand. Camp Brown, the wireline group, one of our besties. Do you have any staplers I might borrow? Anyway, I'm just kidding. Anyway, so I think what's happening is, I think it's on the other end. I think employers are looking at oil field people and they're saying, we don't want to hire you because you've been in the oil field. We'll know you go back. We know that you might go back. So they might not take a chance on an oil field employee where they should, because nobody's more versatile. Nobody is more dedicated, so I think all
creative.
Creative. I mean, all of us in the oil and gas industry have had to be creative to survive and to help our companies survive.
More than twice, more than 3 times for some of us.
Well, the reason I bring that up, so not only is this the Roseland Oil and Gas Show, there's the job fair that's next door, and there's actually quite a few people walking around, resumes, approaching the companies, looking for work. With there being such a need for employees, why do you think there is, those people, and a lot of them have some great oil field experience. What do you think is keeping some companies from actually going out and hiring the people that they need? Do you think they're still scared to ramp up because
and then have
they
to
think
fire
this
people
bubble,
again? Yeah,
this
they're
bubble might
incredibly scared to ramp up to. So they need to right now. They need to ramp up to be able to supply and demand. But they ramp up, and all of a sudden we slow back down. We're firing all these people again. That's just not. And people are so much more cautious now than
As well they should be.
Well, yeah, than what they've been in the past.
Yeah, I don't believe what we see right now is the truth. Another thing that affects, I would say, probably 40%, if not more, of our oil field is mobile insofar as they don't live here. So housing is
Is an
a perceived issue, even though it's really not an issue. I think most companies do provide housing. The ones that really want to participate and play in our world do.
And that's where the service companies need to get their margins back up to at least pre-COVID pricing, because they cannot retain these people who are going to go down the road for $2 a day more. The per diem is higher, and they have housing. I mean, it's just, it's just a game. If there's only so many people out here going to work, who's going to get them? And they have to have more resources to be competitive in retaining those people.
Right. And a lot of people won't live here because they perceive the cost of housing to be too high insofar as moving their family here. I don't agree with that. I think the Permian Basin housing is right, and also we have all sorts of other availability in like temporary housing and man camps and things like that. Like Ronnie Manning's company, like Petroplex, Larry Nielsen's company, NCG, and then you have Aries and all those other housing companies.
Modular building ones
Yeah,
that can do anything
The
custom
Armadillo
for you.
Hotel, that big, monstrosity that's on
Yeah.
I-20 now.
Well, Black Diamond is a great company that's out here now, and so they have housing available as well. So if you need any housing, let us know, because we have connections within that deal. But I think that as a whole, you to bring your family out here now versus how many years have you been here?
3 years. We've been just over 3 years. And
We've talked often about how you bought your house south of Dallas, south of Fort Worth, and how much you got for what you bought, and you actually were able to invest more and put a pool in, and then you came here and you were in culture shock. And now prices are even higher, but they're by no means outlandish. DFW's market has really raised a lot, but again, housing for employees is important. One big company that I know of, one of the big service companies that has different factions underneath it, they provide housing, they provide travel pay to and from. If you happen to have a snow day or a bad sandstorm day like we've just had, they pay 8 hours of labor for that day as well. So
even if you're not able to be out on them.
Yeah, even if you're not out on location. So those kind of things are going to have to be implemented in, but the only way that they can be implemented in is if we're able to raise our service prices.
Right.
I agree wholeheartedly. It's got to be,
Yeah.
The oil companies kind of had their chance to take advantage, when prices were very depressed. And I think more companies should have taken advantage, maybe created more ducts and a few others, that to take advantage of those depressed prices. But now with things coming back, it's got to be,
Well, the future
change
is
a little bit,
the future is less employees on the location and more automation, and it's coming to that. And I think that will help us as well. But it still doesn't.
There yet.
No, not there yet. And the companies that have taken care of their service providers, they're the ones that are ultimately going to win. They've allowed price increases. They have to have some price increases just for supplies, but that doesn't change the fact that they still have to have price increases to take care of their employees.
I agree. Now, we have a little
Hi, Amber.
from Robert
Hi,
Mueller.
Amber.
I don't know. Do you guys is this something you can tackle? Tell us about your.
So, Robert, we have several
go?
organizations between us. We both are executive board members on the Privateer Consulting Group, which is a group of seasoned professionals that open doors for service companies and also open doors for oil deals and things like that. So we have several successes in that group. What are we, 5 years old, 4 years old?
4-ish.
Yeah. So our partners, Jeff Jordan, Jay Jordan, Greg Garcia, and Byron Cottingham, we're all on the executive board together with Stacy. And so if you need anything or any advice or anything opening doors, just call one of us. We've had multiple successes there.
We've had one client tell us to stop selling.
Yes.
Please pull back for like 3 months.
Yeah, to catch up with us. So it's really a neat organization, but we have other organizations as well. But our biggest successes are in people. Our relationships, our friendships, trusted relationships we've had for years.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we worked together for 3 years before we met each other?
Yeah, we worked digitally for 3 years before we actually built the website for the oilfield calendar.
Yeah. That's her. She did that. I just, gathered the data. So anyway.
Perfect. Amber says hi back. Hi, Amber. Thank you for tuning in.
Yes.
So
Let's get so we've covered topics of high oil, people, the show. Is there any other big announcements either one of you are working on? I have to ask, the PBIOS used to be every was it odd year or even year? Even year.
But
Now, because you had a last year, are you going to have it this year, or are you waiting the next year, or what's the future of it?
We are going to have it in 2023, even though historically this show has been every even year, because this show is just too massive to try to put together 2 years in a row, to be honest. So we will be having it October of 2023. All those dates will be announced fairly in the summer, probably once I secure everything with the Coliseum.
But we also have some new things coming up that you might see in 2022.
Ooh, see?
We don't have.
Are you willing to?
We're not
make
approved yet. No,
We're not
come
approved,
on.
but it'll be
What about a
big.
hint?
it'll be big and you'll like
Can
it.
you have like a hint or something? You
Yeah,
know?
fun.
Fun.
You know, there's 3 people watching. Maybe there's more. I'm not sure. I actually can't figure out how to cut comments. So nothing, no hints.
Fun.
What direction? It's gonna be fun
It's
stuff.
gonna be fun.
Okay. Well, since you had the party of the year last year,
We did. Privateers
have
had
the
the party of the year. Yeah,
That was a great party.
yeah.
They
Kind
ran
of.
out of food and alcohol, so you people ate and drank a lot.
Yeah.
I won my
Thank you for
first,
coming.
Thank you for
my
coming.
first and only AR-15 from there.
Yeah, it's pretty fun when a Canadian wins an AR-15, right?
I
Give me
was
5.
very, very excited to have that. So thank you very much. I appreciate you guys
Coming
coming
on
on
here.
down
Yeah.
and talking with me. It's made the start of the show, and I can't believe the internet's working, so we're going to keep this party going. I wonder, I spy Scott over there and Sonia. Maybe they'll come sit down with me, and we
Hello.
can keep this going.
So
We're gonna
Scott,
have to put you on the spot real quick, Keith.
Yes, do it.
Are you committing right now to 2023 podcast party?
Do you want me to?
That's why I'm asking you live.
Well, of course I want to go back. I had a blast. I
Okay.
lost my voice probably in the first day and a half. I had special oils. I
thieves
actually
oil.
left my oil out this morning to bring here because I was like, man, I'm going to need this. And I actually forgot. So I will take it as soon as I get home.
Yeah.
But you know what?
So what he's talking about is Young Living Thieves essential oil, and he puts it on the outside of his throat, and it keeps his voice intact. So now you know another use for thieves.
He also gets to talk a lot.
Yeah, he gets
So,
to talk a lot.
so I'm officially, invited back. Is what
I
you're
am
doing.
officially inviting you back.
Heck yeah. Well, I'm going to put it in the calendar no matter what. Even if I cut my hair.
And that's fine. You cut your hair.
So another person who'll be at 2023 is my brother, Scott Emerson with Super Rod, who we are representing today as a privateer client. So if y'all need any fiberglass rods, give me a call.
Perfect.
Or Stacy, or any of us.
Or any of us.
Well, thank you very much, ladies. Always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Good to see
Appreciate
you
your
sometime.
time.
Oh, I
Thank you.
appreciate your time. And we're
Back to just plain old me, who's boring. I'll see if I can get those two talkative.
I'll get them. Oh, yeah.
And man, you never know who's going to show up here. Now it was a little bit slow, and now coming up next is a man whose voice was definitely made for radio, broadcast.
Radio, yeah.
It hypnotizes me just listening to him. Any minute now, the one, the only, Scott Emerson's going to show up, pull in to the broadcast booth. I am pretty proud of myself. I have 2 cameras working. Somehow, some way. Oh, where's my microphone, Janie? Don't run away with my microphone. Come on, Sonia. You're in. Yeah, come on. Sonia, you're in. Tag. Come on in, Sonia.
We're not doing brother and sister and how we got.
Oh, okay. We're changing it up. Scott?
No,
Well, let her go first.
Yeah, okay, Sonia, you're up.
Sonia, you're in.
Sonia. Yes, come on, Sonia. Shane, you're coming in too. Come on. Just do it.
No,
Sonia. Oh my God. People are so terrified.
we're not terrified.
I'm not scared. I'm not sitting in the middle of
I
you.
don't know.
Man.
You're a girl and we're guys. We're
Okay.
homophobic.
You got the microphone again? Where did the
Here's
microphone?
your microphone.
So are we going to tell our life history?
I don't care.
So
That's what we should talk about.
I have been blessed, very much so, in this industry in West Texas by being welcomed in by some great people. First off, Janie Snelson, who brought me in to the API golf tournament with my bosses, which I was so exhausted to, I made the worst possible impression to her brother Scott. And I didn't know that Scott was her brother at the time. But I gave him a little bit of attitude because I was just grumpy. That's just kind of the way it was. So all of a sudden, Scott sees me with his sister and runs up to her, who is this guy? And I had to apologize in front of a lot of people to Scott for being grumpy. But ever since then, he's been great to me. I'll get him on the screen here.
What's going on, you two?
Not much. How about you?
I'm just trying to.
That was pretty funny though.
And you were hot and tired, so.
I definitely.
You were matching
was-
though. You matched Jason and Mikey and who else?
That
Who else
was-
golfed with you?
I thought we did a pretty good first impression there.
I
Oh,
just thought you were one more Canadian trying to break the rules. So
That probably was the case.
and
but-
this is how it went. He was like, "Jenny, come here," and I was like, "What?" He goes, "Do you know that guy over there in the green and blue?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "He didn't know. It's okay. We'll fix it." So I went to Keith and I was like, "Oh," I was like, "Hey, you know who that guy is over there? It's my brother. So you need to go apologize." And he goes, "Yeah, but we," and I was like, "And you need to go apologize." He went and apologized and he was like, "What did you say?" "Oh, I'm hot and grumpy and I need a nap." And so I have the video. I'll post it sometime. It's the cutest video. I got to send it to Aaron, his wife, who knows that probably pretty well, more than any of us. But he made our day. He made our day.
Scott, so we introduced Janie. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell everybody what you do and who you work for.
I'm Scott Emerson. I am third generation oil field, and I work for Super Rod. We make a fiberglass sucker rod out of Big Spring, Texas.
And I help.
Perfect. Why do I need a fiberglass sucker rod? Why not a steel one?
Well, fiberglass weighs half of what steel does and is stronger than steel. A super rod fiberglass rod set the market on its ear. We have not had a failure. I've got over nearly 100 million feet in the ground, and I have not had a manufacturer's defect failure yet.
Well,
Top that, right?
That sounds pretty amazing. Any great stories from fiberglass super rods? Like at PBIOS, you had a great little walking stick that you had featured. I don't imagine you brought any of those to this show, did you?
I didn't, but what you may have noticed was a bunch of signage around.
Yes, sir.
So Super Rod is a sign sponsor of the Roseland show, and how that all began is when Super Rod came into being. We branded ourselves as Final Rod, and Final Rod was because it was the final rod you were ever going to need. And it just so happened we had sold Fiber Rod, and they had done away with the name, and so I used the exact same font as I used with Fiber Rod, and lo and behold, the people we sold Fiber Rod to brought it back and then sent us a cease and desist letter. So we renamed the company Super Rod, and we made the mistake of using a Super Rod logo, a Superman logo with an S and an R in it, and I made another mistake, and that was trying to trademark it, and the next thing you know, I got sued by Superman.
Wow. You
Yeah.
actually, the
Hashtag-
family actually was like, hey, you can't do that.
Yeah, the Kal-El, all of them, Supergirl, they all sued me and sued us. And so we changed.
Hashtag claim to fame.
It was actually DC Comics, and a couple of months later, they lost the rights to Superman to Universal Studios. So if we would have just hung on a little bit, we could have kept with it. But so the third time I had to rebrand the trucks, I went to our owner, Russ Rutledge, and I explained, we have spent a lot of money doing this. We could probably buy the equipment of the company where it's done. And he looked at me and laughed. He said, I don't think so. So I went and priced it. And I brought the pricing back to him for all the equipment that Fast Signs had, and we bought it. And then we hired Dana from Fast Signs and put her to work in for Super Rod.
And she's amazing.
And she is amazing. Thank you, Dana.
We love you, Dana.
And so now we become the sign sponsors of events that we want to be a part of. So
That
I
they-
have noticed it.
That they choose to be a part of.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Top of the line.
It goes without saying, if there's any questions out there for either one of the guests, anybody who shows up here, please don't hesitate. Let me know if we're still coming through clear, if the internet's still working. Amber, if you're still out there.
Oh, we're live?
Oh, we're definitely live right now. Yeah. Stick your nose and, let it fly, that kind
Can
of
you see
stuff.
if we're live, Shane? I don't see anybody commenting, so that's why.
They don't,
Maybe the internet dropped or something. Who knows? It's pretty quiet. We started out pretty strong.
we can be on the Tally Book Tuesday next week, right?
Hey man, you're always welcome here. I tried
I
getting
know,
you on for how long, and then finally PBIOS showed up. So thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
We appreciate you. This is a neat little deal you do. I like it.
It's just trying to show that there's a little bit more to us than being dumb rednecks, Definitely.
And I helped name the show,
Spark energy.
Heck yeah.
didn't I?
Yes. Jeannie Snelson.
Actually,
is the one.
and Stacy did the logo, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. See, the green and the blue, that's all Stacy.
Can you see it?
Stacy Jones. Yes.
Charlie Boat Tuesday. So
So it's a great little. I fell into it. It's not something I really set out to do. So I appreciate all the support you guys give me. And without having guests on, nobody's ever going to watch it.
What, you lift weights on Wednesday?
Hey,
we're
man, I
on.
can
Hi,
try,
Lisa. Thank you.
but, I'm getting perfect. Well, somebody's still out there.
Yeah, thank you.
Things you put on in the background or a screen, you just listen, and you never know what might come up. I had no idea that you got sued by Superman. That's probably one of the coolest oil field stories I've come across.
We have a lot of oil field stories, don't we?
We do. Our grandfather was killed when our dad was 4 or 5 years old. He was struck by lightning on a tank battery, and killed him. And the chain wrench and the old Stilson pipe wrench that he had in his pocket welded together, and I still have them.
Yeah, if you ever get a chance to go to Scott's office, it's pretty awesome. He's got a lot of memorabilia from the years.
We could do an episode right from your office.
Oh, that would be fun.
Oh my God.
We'll gladly do it.
Come on.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much. Oh, what is the temperature tolerance is? Fiberglass rods. Here we go.
Here we go, Scotty.
What is it?
What are the temperature tolerances of fiberglass rods?
Our regular rod is good to 180 degrees. Our high temp rod is good to 240 degrees. And we would love to get to a 300-degree rod, but as of yet, I hadn't been able. We just can't find the right resin mix to get us there. Some of our competition will say their rod is good to 280 degrees. I hadn't seen that be true yet, but at the same time, it's not me making that claim. So
When you say it's good, so what was the max temperature?
240 degrees.
For how long? Is that just infinite? So because rods are downhole for a long time, I'm just going from a wire.
So like there are some fields in America that are hot.
Like the Haynesville.
Williston, Eagleford, anywhere where they have hot springs or volcanoes or geysers, the ground, the temperature of the formation is hot. So as you produce a lot of fluid like these horizontals are, you move that temperature up the wellbore into the fiberglass rod portion. So it is our fiberglass rods around here in the Permian Basin. We just use our normal rod, 180 degrees. You can hot oil it, you can hot water it, you can back it off, we can fish with it. It's a great rod. It's the best rod ever made. So if you need a sucker rod of any kind, give us a holler. I will do you a rod design and see if we can help.
Yeah, if you're an operator and you're in the basin, or you have time to come down, we'd love to take you on the tour for Super Rod. It's the neatest thing you've ever seen. I've known about fiberglass forever, but I'd never seen fiberglass protruded. It's
so our plant
cool.
is in Big Spring, Texas. We make everything we sell except for 2 products. The thread protector that goes on the end of the rod, we do not make. And the coupling that couples the 2 rods together, we do not make. But everything else you see, we make in-house.
And by the way, what happens this week, talking about Super Rod? Who are you honoring?
Fred Morrow. Fred Morrow was our petroleum engineer, passed away New Year's Eve. We are having his Permian Basin Memorial Saturday at the Petroleum Club from 1 to 3 p.m. If you knew Fred, a lot of people did, please come. We'd love to see you there.
And don't Canadians love Fred as well?
Fred spent half his time in Canada, so Tom Dennehy with Penta Completions
Is he
and
coming?
his wife Badia are coming
Oh,
to honor
awesome.
Fred.
Yay. Fred's an awesome man, one of the smartest men I've ever met in my life. So
We
come,
sure miss him.
come. The coolest thing when
I'm going to cry.
someone passes away that's a legend like Fred is the family has not got to hear some of the oilfield stories. So I know when John Applegath passed away, we had a service and then we had a party at the Fort Worth Petroleum Club. And the family came up to me after both scenarios. I was asked to speak at both scenarios, and the family came up and told me, "Thank you so much for having all these people tell these stories, because this is a side of John we never knew." And I hope that same thing happens for Fred.
I think it will.
It's such a gift, and if they record it, it's even more of a gift because they have it for a lifetime.
Yep.
So
Y'all come. If you knew Fred Morrow, come. He's a pioneer of artificial lift. Back in the NABLA days with Dr. Sam and Ken, weighing wells out of the back of a bread truck, and drew the first downhole card. And Fred was on the Lufkin Mark II patent, and he's just an oil field legend. Y'all come. We'd love to see you.
You don't have to dress up either.
No.
Just wear a collared shirt, right? You can even wear jeans.
Whatever the petroleum
That's
club's
it.
dress code is.
Collared shirt. No wife beater shirts. Collared shirt. You can wear jeans. It's all good. You'll love it. You'll be honored, even watching us from afar.
Yeah, and just don't wear your UT collared shirt. He's
Oh,
an
come.
You can wear whatever shirt you want.
Thanks, guys. That was awesome. Any other questions out there for either Jamie or Scott? Shoot them out now, or we can take for their time, and we'll try and get. I have a few people sitting here, so I might just turn the camera around and force them to be on the show
Yeah.
right away. And
We're in
that's
a
how you
trade
do it.
place.
You just gotta break the ice one way or the other. So going once, going twice.
Thanks for
Thank
coming.
you once again, Janie, Scott. Always a
Pleasure.
I'm vacating this seat.
Oh. Now, well, okay.
I'm not vacating the seat.
We got Janie is very, very popular in Midland, Texas. If you've ever been
It's
here,
because
she
they like to
is
go to all the events that I have.
known as the unofficial mayor of Midland, Texas, and bringing in
Shane Denson.
Shane Denson. Shane, go ahead and introduce everybody.
Shane Denson. I'm the West Texas Regional Consultant for GDP Advisors. GDP Advisors is an Acrisure company.
Say it slower. GDP Advisors.
Advisors. We're an Acrisure company that we take care of commercial insurance. We love the oil field, love being in it. That's kind of our niche. And so that's what we do. We take care of people's anything from the health benefits all the way up to the commercial, the property and casualty, anything like that, workers' comp, general liability. Most of I guess my biggest claim to fame is that most of our clients are paying less now than they were 5 years ago. And so if that's not you, you need to reach out.
That's,
so
with inflation, that's pretty
pretty
good claim to fame,
Yeah.
I would say. Are you on LinkedIn?
yes,
Anybody can reach out and connect with
we're
you?
connected.
I know. Well, I'm just letting everybody out there know that they should reach out to you. I should have did that with Scott and Stacy, but I think they post enough that they're famous enough, right?
Yeah,
Probably.
for sure. Or we follow you enough that we've attained famous
Oh, don't
fame from
even.
following
I've
Keith
posted a lot
Stelter.
of things. Nobody's even liked my stuff this morning. I felt sad that I didn't get enough comments and stuff.
So there is some type of serotonin kick when you like people's comments and like people's posts. So please, we all thrive on that. Like us, talk to us.
I'm just kidding. Not really. It's part of the algorithm.
Yeah,
The
it's an
fight will never
algorithm.
win.
The more that you comment or like, the more the posts get put up at the top.
Shares
I'm
don't do a lot.
I'm definitely a beneficiary from Pay It Forward Friday. I mean, how many?
I think he ended up with 32,000 views, and I forget, like at the quality of the views, like a lot of, like if we're after operators, I think you hit over 300 operators.
I love you guys and girls at the operators. You are my lifeblood, so thank you for that.
It's definitely one of the benefits of LinkedIn. If you're never gonna hit it unless you try. So,
Yeah, for sure.
Sarah,
And
you got any other-
probably I gained over 100 connections from that.
That's amazing.
And I haven't looked in a while how many I gained, but a lot.
Oh,
so.
taking it for granted, I see.
No, I'm not. I've just been busy. So
What else you got in the pipeline? Any big announcements or anything
I don't
else?
really have any announcements. We're just really excited about this year and what we've got coming. Would love to visit with anybody. It takes about 15 minutes just to kind of get to know you a little better. Please reach out. Reach out to Janie or myself.
and you have
'cause she
you
can
have
direct
all
contact.
sorts of factions of GDP advisors.
Absolutely, absolutely. We take care of everything. Anything that's insurance related or HR related, anything like that, we can help you with.
Yeah. And
What-
you have kind of a link to fame yourself, right? Well, one of your brothers was a baseball player. Another brother is
So my
I've
brother
known
Seth.
Shane his whole life.
Yeah.
So you know.
So my brother Seth, if you look up GDP Advisors or just look up Seth Denson, he's all over LinkedIn. He is a Newsmax and Fox News analyst. He is on there all the time. He's a financial analyst for them. He is actually the starter, one of the co-founders of GDP Advisors.
And I got to meet John Powder yesterday.
John
So
Potter was here yesterday. We were seeing clients going out and trying to take care of their stuff. So we've got a very unique way of doing things. So it's just something out of the box that y'all haven't seen before.
for sure. And a great asset. You want to talk about, making the most of costs from a service company or an oil company provider. GDP is someone you need to hook up with and let them see if they can help you out.
Absolutely.
From a perspective, I asked a lot of people about $100 oil,
Mhm.
and all the service companies, activities through the roof for them. Do you see the same correlation through price increases like that to when they get busier? Do they buy more insurance? Is it a continuation?
We're all in
Does
the
it
oil
translate?
business. We're all in the oil business. I've always said I can't afford $1 gas. I can afford $4 gas. And so it's just something that we're all part of the oil business, no matter what you're in. If you're in West Texas, we haven't seen it yet that everything's jumping. I think people are being a little careful. It's just kind of my opinion, but we're starting to. And people are trying to get these, because I know Danny was talking earlier about employees and employee retention and trying to get the right employees. So my business is big because we help with that. We help with employee retention so much that they gotta find something that beats everybody else's in order to keep those employees.
Awesome. Great to hear. If there's any other questions out there, Janie, Shane, shoot them out, or we'll let them get on with the show. And going once, going twice.
Sold.
Thank you very much
for
Thank you.
coming on,
Appreciate
Janie.
you.
The third time.
I'm
Right.
really leaving. Bye.
No, stay in the area, Janie. Stay in the area. Stay in the area. We'd love to have you on a fourth time for sure. For sure. No, are you coming on now? Why not? Come on. Why not?
I don't know. See,
I'm sure. Come on.
So this
Come.
is going to be, listen to me. This is going to be your pay for Friday. Just she's looking for a job.
Well, we can do it.
You're helping them with the door. There's volunteers, that's all you have to do.
We have a special guest coming on. My real boss, Janie Snelson, is telling me how it is. Oh, she's coaching her. Any minute now. Any minute now. Have a seat, either one.
Here we
Don't
go.
don't be shy.
All right, here I am.
And I'm going to let her do her own introduction. Let's see. We got you centered in there, kind of. And in 3, 2, 1.
Go ahead. You're live. Introduce
Hi.
yourself.
I am Jessica Dalla, and I am now helping privateers, and we're representing Super Odd, so I'm just helping them open some doors here in Midland, Texas this week. So Midland's been great. Thank you all very much.
Are you a little bit nervous?
A little bit. I just got.
I love it. I love the fact that she thinks that the show is important enough to be nervous about. Makes me
Big
makes.
deal.
Don't even. My wife is gonna. She says that goes to my head, and I don't know what she's talking about. So,
Well, I see you all over LinkedIn, and
I see you. You do great content as well.
Well,
So
thank you. I try.
now, Janie mentioned pay it forward. Are you looking for any other opportunities right now in Midland? What's the situation? Tell everybody out there a little bit about your background.
I live in Oklahoma. I have been traveling for the last about 2 years. So when I started in oil and gas, I was with a company called Bossback. They manufacture and sell hydrovac trailers based out of Houston, Texas. From there, whenever I started with that, I was able to take my youngest on the road with me and have him travel. So I was a third grade teacher from the front seat and setting up meetings and emails and business calls from the front seat, driving all the way around the United States. So when school started back last year, I needed something closer to home to be able to be there in Oklahoma. And so I got the opportunity with Zach Copeland at Blue Bison. He has a software for mineral buyers called Forecast. And so I was able to help him for a while. And I still am kind of helping him from the side, but not really a computer girl. I'm more of a networking, getting out there, hands-on. So I am now helping the privateers. And with that, Super Rod, based out of Big Springs, you just did an interview with Scott Emerson. I was able to take a tour there yesterday. Wonderful man, wonderful facility. They have great things going on there with their fiberglass sucker rods. And so I'm just trying to help him in Oklahoma merge the gap and open doors for them. So we're helping OSP and 10X, which is chemicals. So if that's something that you might need, we can do a free sample and put your water stuff together and get it, your data collected and everything to give you, to help you out possibly in the future. So
You're doing great, by the way. You should feel very, very excited about, how often do you come on shows like this?
Well, I've gone on Matt Hill's a couple of times.
So
He's a great guy.
He's absolutely amazing. His wife is even better. Hey, Misty.
So I'm no stranger to using LinkedIn to find a job. That's the reason I don't know, ended up anybody knowing me on LinkedIn in the first place. When 2020 came along, that's what I used LinkedIn to try and market myself. One of the advices I got was, okay, what are you after? What would be your dream job? So my question to you would be, what would be your dream opportunity? What would that look like? What kind of company? What kind of, is it upstream? Is it midstream? Is it, break it down a little bit to us. What your ideal?
Well, considering I've only been in oil and gas for a year and a half, I guess that's what I'm looking for. I'm still trying to find my niche. I'm great at getting out there and talking to people and introducing myself. And as you see, I'm kind of all over sometimes going to the shows. And so trying to find my niche right now would be what I'm trying to find. So would it be
an account manager type position?
It's definitely not going to be in front of a computer sitting at a desk. I am out on the field or, out and about meeting people, selling a physical product. That would be my best asset. So what that looks like as far as in what industry within the oil and gas or what avenue in oil and gas, that's what I'm still trying to figure out myself. But I'm open to learning and looking for new opportunities. So.
Well, perfect. Well, I do this Pay It Forward Friday post on that Janie was kind of mentioning before.
Right.
You want to do one on Friday?
I won't be here Friday.
No, just a post.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So the only thing, so anybody out there see my Pay It Forward Friday post, I do get some random people say, hey, please feature so-and-so. The only thing I ask is that you be active on LinkedIn, that you can respond to the comments. Some people will be like, oh, do you know XYZ? And I'm not going to know that answer. So that would be, I'll do it about 8:30 in the morning Friday.
Okay.
And we're going to do Pay It Forward Friday. So anybody out there watching, this is future Pay It Forward Friday post. We're all going to come together and use the power of LinkedIn to try and, make a difference. I think it's a pretty powerful tool. What do you think?
I'm here for it. I love it. I love the way that you give back to the community and help out. That's awesome.
Any other announcements? Anything you want to cover? I put you on the spot. You did wonderful. Thank you for filling. We had Janie 3 times in a row, so it was
She's a goddess.
Good to get it changed up a little bit here.
Yeah.
I'm looking. I had a couple other people lined up, but now I'm going to get you to
Go recruit.
Go recruit.
I can do
There's,
that.
Looking for Raymond or John from Fantail. Where are you guys at? I'm
All
live.
right.
Hopefully you guys are here in the building. Maybe you're even watching.
We're gonna find you.
I know Mr. Nielsen here from NRG. I want to get him on. I haven't had him on the show yet. I see he was in the area. I told him 5 minutes, and then he kind of disappeared. And
I'm gonna go start looking for these
So,
gentlemen. What are their names again? I'll just start calling them out.
Raymond and John at Fantail are just down there past the big separator tank.
I'm
And
on
Larry
it.
Nielsen. You got it.
Thank
Larry
you.
Nielsen. Thank you very much.
Man, you are back. Losing you. Big delay after you said hype up. Uh-oh. Dang old internet here. Am I still working there? Amber. Anybody else? How long was I out for? It don't matter. We're going to keep coming. I don't know. I think we're going to try this for a couple hours. I might have to get up and do some recruiting to fill this in. But they were lined up for a minute. Maybe I became boring or something. Who knows? You know? It's tally book troubleshooting. You never know what's going to happen next. Let's see. I am rolling. I'm gonna have to send Robert Mueller a fruit cake or gift basket or something. He keeps helping me out and commenting. That's the fact he's been following this for 45 minutes. Man, that's a huge shout out to him. Oh, wonder who else is out there. Come on, comments. My boy JP Warren, check it out. I don't know. Maybe. Anybody else from Mark Energy watching? Is it just you, Amber? Let's see. I will be back in a moment.
All right, you didn't tell me the company that I was looking for, so I just.
She would have called me for something.
You want to go on a live stream? I came back empty-handed. So what company am I looking for?
Fantail. That way.
What is the company?
Fantail.
Fantail.
Have a seat, sir.
I was
Come
actually
on.
just talking.
Come on, just have.
Oh, here's-
Sit. Okay, we're back. Hopefully, when I got up from the chair, not everybody shut it off wondering what the heck I was doing. New guest. I'm going to have him do his own introduction here. Hopefully, he's on LinkedIn and knows what this is all about. So,
Sir, go ahead and introduce everybody. There's the camera.
Hello.
The speaker's right there. You don't got to speak
Nope.
up. You're good.
Okay.
Hopefully they hear you. Sorry for interrupting. This is very amateur video.
So I'm Francisco Vasquez. I'm with Medley Equipment Company. I'm the PRS sales manager for the West Texas region. What we do is offer forklifts, rental service, parts, sales. We sell them, we service them, we maintenance them, we do all that good stuff. We're actually in Midland, Odessa area, off 191. So if you guys ever want to stop by looking for a forklift, any material handling needs, give us a call or stop by and look at us. Appreciate you having me here.
Hey, man. So how long you been in the oil field for?
Going on 4 years.
So in that time, the oil field's a pretty exciting place.
It is.
Any crazy stories? Anything fall off a truck? Anything blow up?
No,
Nothing
in that area.
Boring oil field man in 4 years there ever was? No.
Well, all it is it goes up, it goes down. You got your ups, you have your downs. You know, that's how the oil field is.
How do you handle those ups and downs?
Well, you
Any
gotta,
lessons from the last 4 years?
I think the lessons, we're oil field, but we're not. So I think what it is land on, you know, work with the oil field, but don't rely on it. Is how I explain it.
And you
Don't rely on it because it goes down and you don't want to go down with it. So work with oil field, work with construction, work with everything that you can do that's away from the oil field because of its ups and downs. That's probably what I can
That's wise
say.
beyond your years, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate you last minute coming in and being brave to get in front of the camera.
Yes, sir.
So, my next guest, we're getting them rolling now. The man, a myth, another former legendary Canadian himself, coming in here, coming in hot.
I found it for you.
You rock.
Raymond, you've been on the show
before.
before.
Yeah.
Introduce yourself again. Tell everybody who you are again. Make sure they didn't forget and what you got going on.
Got my fantail hat on. I'm Raymond Taylor at Fantail Services. I'm a resilience building leadership professional trainer. We do leadership, performance coaching, performance improvement. We build resilient teams. And Keith and I have had some chats before on the tally book troubleshooting. So we're here at the show right now. And yeah, thanks for having me on.
So we're coming to you from the Roseland Oil and Gas Show. That's the point of this live stream, to show you some of the people that are coming through here and some of the great people you're missing if you're not here. And hopefully you're tuning in to check out what's going on. Raymond, what's your thoughts on the show so far? Have you had any great meetings? Has anybody come across your way? What's your feelings? I know it's not the biggest show, compared to some ones, but is it, what's your feelings?
Today, the weather was pretty cool this morning, so that put a little bit of a damper on things. We got 2 booths. We got an outdoor booth and we got an indoor booth. I put a little bit of damper on the cooler weather, but everybody soldiered on through it. There was a big, like a hiring expo. There's a lot of people here that were looking for work, which we had some good chats with some of those people, and they asked us some questions about who they should go talk to. So we directed them to some companies. Hopefully it works out for them, paying it forward, right? And we've had some really good feedback from some human resources groups and people that are looking for some improvement and building teams. Obviously, everybody's big challenge right now is people re-entering the workforce sort of post-COVID. A lot of challenges involved in that, where people are used to working remote and they're coming back to the offices now. And there's obviously some challenges. I think everybody can agree with that. I don't even think I really need to speak about it, but it's the same everywhere.
I asked Janie and Stacy earlier, do you think there's any, I don't want to say discrimination, but do you think anybody is, fearful to hire some of these people who have been off because of COVID for like a year or more or something? Do you think any of that is going on? Because we see there's so much need in the industry, and yet there is quite a few people still looking for work.
Well, it's funny that you asked that question, because you see a lot of chatter on LinkedIn about exactly like that, especially from the people that are in the recruiting space or the HR manager space. You see them talking about, give people a break about that space you see on their resume, that gap you see on their resume. Because, a lot of people, myself included, I was working over in the Middle East as an operations manager with 500 employees and 6 tier 1 super spec rigs, and I couldn't travel when the COVID hit in April 19, and I got released like a lot of people did. So a lot of us are moving on to something else and trying to keep going. So I think we all need to cut people a break that have a gap on their resume.
Do you think people are actually doing that? Do you think there is understanding? Like I've seen some recruiters, Amanda Rico's out there on LinkedIn, Melanie Woods. They talk, hey, like people have to realize this gap is because of such a big global event. But from your own perspective and people you've spoken to, are people actually giving a break, or are those traditional HR things still coming in? Are people still? Is it still happening? Basically,
I guess there's sort of 2 sides to that. I think it's double-edged. I think part of this is just my personal opinion. So I think we've seen a lot of companies just tighten their belt up and run a lot leaner, and it might have been running a little bit more fat before. So they've backfilled less positions. So I don't know if all of it is just because of gaps in the resume, but the chatter we do see on LinkedIn is that clearly that is happening in some places. But I think to play devil's advocate, so to speak, I think a lot of places are just running leaner. So it might not be just not hiring people because of the gap.
I see some of that, and people are, but then, some people, are they afraid to be doing hiring because they think this bubble's going to burst soon?
I think you nailed that.
Up and downs are coming faster. In my opinion, there's always been ups and downs, and they've been 2 to 3 years in the oil field. To me, I'm thinking like we're going to start seeing quick cycles of a year almost and stuff like that. Do you see any of that coming along?
No, I completely agree with you on that point. That even though you see the comments through the social media, people saying, well, such and such companies are starting to make these really high profits, but they're not spending and hiring more. And I think there is a lot of cautiousness. It's basically cautious spending because people are concerned that the bottom is just going to drop out again. Oil might be skyrocketing right now, but with the global events and kind of the policies we see through the current admin, it could just drop out any day. And I think people are just being more cautious.
I agree wholeheartedly. Switching gears here, so we are at $100 oil and stuff. Fantail, are you guys seeing the uptick, that you would expect with this? Like you talked, you got some traction today with some HR groups. Are you guys seeing any, is the phone ringing a little bit more than it was, let's say, 6 months ago?
I don't know if we've necessarily seen that because of the price of oil, but we have been very fortunate and a few doors have opened for us and allowed us to go in and give our pitch, so to speak, to groups that we normally weren't able to before. And that has come from networking events like this and just getting out there, being on LinkedIn like we are now, and growing our networks. And we're very fortunate.
I've always liked you guys. You were great guests. Both you and John had great interviews and always been very welcoming to me. So, Raymond, I really appreciate it. Is there any other shout-outs, events you guys got going? Oh, wait. We have a question.
Oh, go ahead.
Does Fantail provide services outside of the oil and gas?
Absolutely. I'm glad you asked that question. Absolutely, Robert. We sure do. We got asked that question actually several times today. We go into schools. We have our Duns and Cage number. We provide RBLP training to the military. We can go into any industry, basically. The structure of our leadership and the resilience building program, it fits from a donut shop to an oil exec.
Robert, you can go check out the past appearances by Raymond and John. Great guest. John Minyard, ex Top Gun instructor from, that Top Gun. I was pretty excited to interview him. Very intelligent man. Raymond had quite the oil field story of what did you drop down hole again, Raymond?
One of our guys dropped a 30.
Oh, it wasn't you? It wasn't you?
No, it wasn't exactly me. I just had to deal with the fallout from it. One of our guys made a mistake and dropped a 30-inch split casing bushing downhole.
And he ended up, you gave him the power to basically solve that himself?
Yeah,
correct?
We did some in-field engineering. I had a very smart superintendent at the time that had a ton of experience, and he developed a overshot with some fingers on it that he basically manufactured out of a piece of casing. And after 2 runs, we were able to go down and collapse that overshot over the split bushing and pull it out of the hole.
It was a great story. I highly recommend it. Go check both those gentlemen out. Is John going to make his way over here?
I will try and get him over here, yeah.
Too busy? Maybe he's tired of dealing with me. You never know. Thank you, sir. I appreciate your time. I'll let you get back to the schmoozing and the networking here. And I don't know. See if I was hoping to get. There's a few other.
If you
people on
guys
this
get a
round.
chance to come down and see us, we've got an indoor and an outdoor booth. And this year we've collaborated with several different companies. We have Chris Aziz from Canada from Structure Industries, who has a rope access company that does all this different heights work off of rope, so you don't have to put scaffolding out. We've also got Trax North America here with us on our outdoor booth. We got a remote control tracked vehicle. You need to come see that. And we've got a folding AR from Texas Tactical. It's a double fold AR system. The barrel folds and the stock folds. Come check us out.
Well, I didn't get to see the folding AR.
You need to come
now,
check it.
Now you're telling me about that,
You
man.
didn't come
Okay.
see me.
Sir, pleasure as always. We'll be seeing you soon. I appreciate it, sir.
Awesome. Well, we've been on here an hour. People are still commenting. See you soon. Send John over or find me another guest. Send that Chris over. Now we're getting interesting. Definitely. Let me know where you guys are watching from. If you are still out there watching. Thank you very much for all those who have tuned in. I'll always remember Amber and Robert for sure. Amber, are you in Houston or are you in Louisiana right now? I don't know where you're at today. If I'm still coming through, I think my sound is still working. I know it's kind of paused a couple times here. Like I said, the internet has been a challenge to say the least. I am very, very excited that we actually got something to go in the first place. So we're also live on YouTube as well. If anybody doesn't have access to LinkedIn, so you can have them check it out, the show on YouTube.
Yeah.
Come on over, have a seat. Come on.
Keith Stelter, one of my coworkers. Gary Johnson, nice to meet you.
Have a seat, we're live. Come on, introduce yourselves. Come on.
Come on, Dan, hop in here.
Come on, sit down. John, I'll get to you next 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Gentlemen, you're in the Tally Book Troubleshooting booth. Go ahead and introduce yourselves.
The mic's right there. Don't worry. You can just talk regular. I'm sure they'll hear you. Go for it, sir.
Barry Johnson. I'm business development manager for DHI.
Dan Reed, Director of Product Innovation at DHI.
So what's DHI?
Water management service and rentals, tanks rentals is what. So.
Perfect. What's new? What's exciting at DHI?
Well, recently, last year they acquired Blazer Water Transfer.
Okay.
So another product line that they added on with the tank rentals. So full water management service now.
Who, for those out there that are watching, or maybe nobody's watching, who knows? At this point, we've been on for an hour. Who's your target, customer? Who's the guy that you want, that you hope sees this?
Well, just any operator that's looking for water management services. We work with midstream companies too. Just anybody that needs.
Is it water management for frac water?
Yes,
Yep.
majority is going to be for frac, but we do work with midstream companies to help them move their water around to different oil and gas operators as well.
Dan, we used to work together at Schlumberger, correct?
Yes, sir.
Not many. It's only been a couple of years, I guess. Are you seeing the uptick in activity with you guys with $100 oil that you guys are expecting to see, or is it still? It could be busy.
I think with regards to the price, since it's so recent of a change, that what you expect activity to be and what like $130 oil is, like it doesn't really correlate. But I think we're still on track with the same recovery coming out of COVID, going into the 90s, and now we've got this geopolitical impact that's kind of sudden, recent, but it's impacting fuel prices, which hits everybody in their supply chain, from service companies to operators, and everybody's adapting to that right now.
I definitely don't think it's for my first go around out here in the 2013 or 14. It's not the crazy madhouse that we saw back then, but and I think operators have gotten smarter too. They're not just going to pick up all these fleets and then flood the market, which I think would be hard to do in this time, but you know, we kind of shot ourselves in the foot. I think that first go around, the first time we saw prices at this range.
Do you think, you know, everybody's got an opinion. Do you think we're going to stay here for a while? Do you think prices may increase with the further instability? Do you think we're headed towards a recession where everything's going to come down? What's your feelings on the market? Up, down, middle, stay the same? You can't be wrong and you won't be right, so it's all speculation.
Well, again, going to the geopolitical aspect, you know, that's on everybody's mind with the Ukraine-Russia situation. But if that continues or, you know, devolves even more, I think the, you know, worst case scenario, we're looking, you know, some projections have been at $200 oil. That might just be like a scare tactic, but, you know, we might get there, and those costs, you know, we might burn ourselves out as a market. It's potential.
You guys got a question here from Robert Muller, engineer. What, if any, trends does DHI see in water recycling here in the Permian?
Well, we actually just attended the show, oil and gas show in Dallas, the water show, and you know, the big inference that we took away from that show is we have to start using recycled water. And some of our customers that we deal with on a daily basis have obviously taken that to heart and are starting to utilize blended and even 100% reuse on stuff. So definitely an increase in usage of produced or treated water.
Awesome. Great question, Robert. Thank you very much, sir. And gentlemen, any big shout outs, anything else you guys want to announce while you're here?
No, just if any of y'all watching need some water management services, Dan or myself will be glad to help.
Awesome. Sir,
thank you.
Very nice to meet you. Good to see you again, Dan. Oh, dang. Getting in there.
Get this. Perfect. And we're moving along here. Hopefully. Sure. Intercorp. Isn't that? Yeah, who? Yeah, I interviewed for them and they like. Come on in. Oh, tomorrow? Why don't you come sit down right now? 5 minutes. Why? Well, nobody's watching anyway, so you might as well try. You never know.
Are you going to be here tomorrow?
Well, it's supposed to be, yes. Okay, are you sure? We have guests that were refusing to come on. Can you really believe that at this point? Like, it's free advertising. You're the marketing? How much guilt can I throw at you to make you sit down? No? Okay. Well, do you know John Minyard? Yes. Tell him I'm free now. Suppose he was coming over, and then he saw me talking, and then he got discouraged. You sure? You just come say hi. It's on. People are watching right now. Well, is it your CEO? I thought I knew. Or it was your friend Mark or something. Okay. Okay. Cool. Nope. Looks like we have a guest lined up for tomorrow. CEO of Intercorp. I'm excited. I'm very excited. Are you gonna check it out tomorrow? I hope so. Find me John. He's an interesting cat. Hey, I'm somebody. Cody Arsenault, you are a legend. I can't believe you actually are tuning into my live stream. That's amazing. I actually, now that you're watching, there is a gentleman walking around here who apparently grew up and went to high school with you at a crane company. His name, for whatever reason at the moment, because I got too much going on, escapes me. He's supposed to come on and say hi to you and Mikey and Jason any minute now. I imagine he'll walk by, but we'll see what's going on. So, Cody Arsenault, where are you, dear Lord? I can't believe it. A couple people were actually watching still. Derek. Yes, it was Derek. Man, did he text you or something? Man, it's a small world. Uh-oh. I have a legend coming in. An actual legend. Legends, that word gets thrown out there every once in a while.
Which one you want me to sit in? You know how nervous I get sitting
right
next to you, the legend.
No, sir. True Blue. So, this man, I was so excited to interview this man, and you can still catch the interview. It's still online, but
John Minyard, go ahead and introduce yourself, a little bit about yourself.
John Minyard, 30-year Navy veteran, born and raised in Texas. Actually, I was born in Kermit, Texas, so it's good to be back in my old neck of the woods. But I did 30 years in the Navy, and now I'm owner of a consulting company that's out here at the show, Fantail Services.
Sir, tell everybody the exciting thing that gets me excited.
Oh, that. So
like a little kid, what got me hooked on John was that what was your position in the Navy at one point?
So I was the Fleet Master Chief of the U.S. Pacific Fleet, largest fleet in the world. And I did that until I retired in 2013. So the other thing that Keith won't tell you about is I was also a Top Gun instructor, which it was a pretty cool deal. And I've got a special gift.
Pretty cool deal. Like it's Top Gun. Like what?
Oh,
Like
all of you that are watching live or know Keith. Keith is a big promoter of oil and gas, and he asked me a question of what we can do more to get the word out of oil and gas. And so we did a little tally book Tuesday, and he's been doing a great job out here and always on LinkedIn. Very big supporter of Fantail Services and putting our stuff out there. So I got a special gift for Mr. Keith here. So Top Gun hat, Navy Fighter Weapons School.
Wow.
Second best is dead last. So there you go, my friend. Thank you for all your support and what you're doing for everybody in the class.
Man, so, okay, now
I've lost my composure, but I'm going to try and. So you are a very intelligent man. There's a lot going on in the world right now. What are your thoughts? 30,000 foot, here to offend anybody. What are your, what's going on over with Russia and Ukraine? Do you have any kind of, I think it should go one way, or it affects more or less, or, it's just something you're not even paying attention to, or no opinion at all?
Well, I've got my own opinions, and some of those I'll keep to myself. But I think what's going on, and you look at the world that we live in, and evil exists everywhere we look sometimes. And I think it's tragic what's going on over there, and so many people's lives are affected. But I think the biggest concern I have is we don't know yet the impact of what's going on over there in the global markets. Especially in oil and gas, I don't think we're going to realize the impacts of that for probably several months, maybe even a couple of years. But what's going on over there is absolutely tragic. And I pray for both sides that they find a resolution and a peaceful resolution, and we learn to live together in a more peaceful world.
With the effect it is having on oil and gas, are oil and gas companies going to have to accept the fact they're going to have to take that into consideration when planning for the next 6 months, a year of activity of the industry? Is it that big of effect on us, or is it going to be, it's important, but it's, we're not going to plan because.
No, I think you're actually seeing that it's going to have a huge effect on. For me personally, as I look at oil and gas, I think that you're going to have to take a hard look at this globalism and how energy is produced and the impacts that not only Russia's oil has on it, but then you've got the Middle East oil. And when you have one crisis over the other, we've gone through this many times, but when you have one crisis in one country, how much it impacts our country. And
I think that's very,
like
very
I said,
well
we
said.
could be self-sufficient, and it's an interesting time with this globalism. Anyway.
Any quick plugs to throw out for Fantail? I just had Raymond on here. I'm sure he covered a few things. Any big announcements, topics you want to cover?
No, we're just happy to be back out here in Midland and working the show, and would love to come talk to people about leadership development and just have a conversation. We're here to help people, so thank you for everything you're doing, Keith.
Sir,
You're the man.
Hey, I'm excited to talk to you every time I see you, man. So
Enjoy that Top
appreciate
Gun
it.
hat. Yep.
Have a great show, and let me know if there's anything else. We're going to be going live. Maybe something occurs here tonight, and we'll chat about it tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Perfect.
Take care. Thank you.
Man,
How's Gordon doing?
he's good.
I have a guy I've been wanting to come on my show for a long time. Great. If you're in Midland, you know this guy. This guy's a bear of a man, but one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet in Midland. The one, the only. Waiting for him to sit down. He's going to do it any second now.
Mr. Larry Nielsen. Larry, introduce yourself to those people who may not know what a true gentleman you are.
Well, I mean, I think you're talking about yourself.
Oh, come
It's good to see
on.
you. So I just saw Keith at the Comic-Con here, and I was trying to find him a He-Man. I know he's into He-Man. Look at this guy, man. What are you doing?
Oh,
Dude, that's
look
hard.
I can't have a cross-sectional sit. We got to be in separate shots.
There you go.
Because
Yeah,
you're so
because
big,
you're so
man.
big, man. I mean, well, I appreciate you having me on the show, man. And
tell everybody what you do quickly. You
Sure.
get some PR out there. Go for it.
Well, again, my name is Larry Nielsen. I work with NRG Realty Group. We provide both tenant rep and owner rep for industrial warehouses. We do leasing, sell lease back, and if you need like a laydown yard, we probably are one of the two groups that are the experts in the area when it comes to commercial industrial warehouses.
What is going on with prices right now? $100 oil, is that making the market? The market's always been pretty strong here, I think.
Sure.
Is it worse now? Is it just unreasonable? Is it longer? What are your feelings on the market?
Some great questions. So, I think Midland has always been its own economy. And, one of the sayings here is, there's a price to, pay to do business here. And so the pricing has always been traditionally a little bit high, but right now pricing is probably pretty average on, for the most part for Midland, Odessa. We are starting to see a little creep up in the rental rate. And obviously that's tied to the price per barrel. But I think that there's a lot of things that tenants who are looking for buildings can do. One of the things that they can do is hire, an expert, whether it be me or somebody else in the commercial space that understands what the market's doing, price per square foot. A lot of times these companies go out on their own. I understand why they do that, but they miss, specific questions such as, is this, building in a flood zone? Does this building have any restrictions? And, that's where we come in. We fill in those gaps and we add some value to the process. But as far as pricing is concerned, we are starting to see a creep up in the industry.
So I have approached you once about, a property.
Yes.
Is that property still available out there, Larry, or is it because the market's so hot? Is that thing already long gone? And if I wanted a property or something around here, you'd have to come up with a whole new list.
Well, that particular property is still on the market, but for the most part, if you're not making a move within a week or week and a half, you're going to see that properties are changing hands pretty quickly. So the market is hot. It started getting hot probably good beginning of the fourth quarter last year. We're seeing a lot of influx of customers who weren't in the Permian, who maybe were working here but didn't have a presence, starting to get some properties. And I've literally had customers that would call me one day, ask for a particular property, and then 2 days later it's gone. So if you're looking at making a move, now's the time.
It is definitely crazy times out there right now.
Yeah.
Man, Thanks so much for stopping by.
Yeah, man.
You
Hey,
were
before I
on your
go-
way out. I know I tried to get you on a little bit sooner than people, and you were in a place talking to a guy. So
Well, I mean,
I'm glad it
you're
worked
very
out.
popular, man. Look at this.
Oh,
There's
come
people
on
lined
now.
up,
I had dead air here. I had to like literally get up. You can go through here, and there was nobody sitting in the chair.
Hey, man, I'm really proud of what you've done. You know, you've taken yourself and marketed yourself well. You've taught a lot of people. You've helped a lot of people get jobs. And, you know, that's the spirit of the Permian, isn't it? You know, where we sit here and try to help one another. Part of the value add before I go with using NRG Realty Group is that we like to help our customers and you know, freely help them get into businesses that they may have not been able to, or provide contacts, provide some kind of guidance. We do that, you know, for free to help our customers. And that's just the Permian way. And what you've done here with your podcast and helping people, it's greatly appreciated.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you noticing and saying that. That's
Yes, sir.
once again,
hey, you can work out with me.
I got to come and work out with you because I can't seem to convince you to come to my workout Wednesday. I don't know.
You got to come at 5:30 in the morning, brother.
One day you could just come
Okay.
to the
Well, one day,
and then I'll come. I'll promise to come
okay.
at 5:30 in the morning. Even you know, I'll get up at 3 in the morning just to prepare and stuff. But
yeah, let's do that.
Excellent.
All right, man.
It's a promise.
Appreciate it. Yep.
Everybody,
Thank you.
Larry Nielsen.
Yep.
Yes. Man.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate you.
It's
Come
been-
out. When's the next Wednesday?
Yeah, I was gonna try and do something today, workout Wednesday, but maybe I don't know. It's dying down a little bit in here. Maybe a guy, what's Tom Emmelander is in town. Do you know Tom?
Yeah.
Strongest man in the world, and
yeah.
he be nice working out with you two gentlemen. So thank you, sir. Appreciate it once again. Man, I don't know. That's been not too bad. Little going here. I can't believe people are still watching. It shocks me every day as a farm boy. Grew up in Alberta. Did wireline. Doesn't have a lick of any kind of marketing experience. And somehow stumbled into this to the point where people actually will watch and genuinely notice. Like for Larry to say that, man, it's very, very kind of him to do so. Make sure you tune in or check out my Pay It Forward Friday post this Friday. I'm going to be trying to help out Jessica Dahl and try and get her some exposure. So make sure you like, comment. For those of you out there that don't know, a 5-word comment and a like is unbelievably helpful for a post. And it's free to do so, especially on the Pay It Forward Friday posts. They help get the algorithm going. Sharing is okay, but ultimately LinkedIn is not Twitter, and shares, are not as effective as, like I said, 5-word comment and a like right off the bat, and responding to different comments. Right? It's include people. People are the we don't buy equipment from other pieces of equipment. We buy it from groups of people. And that's why you got to have a little bit of a personal touch and include people on your LinkedIn posts to be successful. At least what I've found in the last 2 years. You can post that picture of that equipment out there. But, if you have someone standing next to it, maybe it's even the delivery guy. To me, I think all the delivery guys out there, the truck drivers, should be made the most famous guys out there so that when they arrive on location, everybody recognizes and knows who they are, not by the name on the door of the truck, but by their face. That'd bring an added little bit of friendliness to the whole oil field, in my opinion. I think we could use a little of that. And I think on that note, I'm going to sign off. Thank you for tuning in, checking out the Roseland Oil and Gas Show here live. I highly recommend you make the trip tomorrow if you're in the Midland area. Check out some of these great booths and displays here. I'm sitting across from a compressed natural gas delivery. Pretty interesting stuff. There's actually quite a few different midstream booths here. Rental, you name it. So all kinds of knowledge base here. Come check it out. Horseshow Arena here in Midland, Texas, heart of the Permian Basin. And on that note, that's how troubleshooting.